A lot of people are like surprised when like they see the Trinity flag and head think, oh, he must only know Trinidad. So when I talk about St. Lucia, they're like, he knows that song or he knows that. It's like, yeah, I do my research. I'm not gonna call no names. So let's not do that. But let's say that somebody who goes viral for doing something that's harmful to the culture, they assume that all content creators or all influencers like that. Yeah. And they don't think for a second, oh, maybe that's just that one bad apple in the bunch. So me personally, like I don't allow it to affect me because I know what my content is. I tell people all the time, just watch my page. Like, just watch my videos. I will send you my videos if you need me to. But I don't allow the stigma to affect me because I know what I'm about. Even people will vouch for me and say, yeah, Blackie doesn't do that. Blackie talks about actual things within the culture. Yep. So that's like the thing I try to do. I pride myself on.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy DJ Busby, and from the time you hear the voice, you know it's only up from here. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we have one of the most special podcast that we are ever gonna have on this program. Now, this brother here, I've seen him on Instagram. You've seen him on Instagram as a defender of soca music, as somebody who promotes soca music as a big part of his life and wants to educate the people on what he loves so much and has come to love within the soca community. This guy is somebody who I admire, somebody that I want to bring on this station to champion, to bring on this podcast to champion. And he's an advocate for soca music, and you all will know his face when we pan the camera. Welcoming to the Up From Here podcast, none other than Blackie, the Soca Influencer. Soca.
that is one of the greatest intros I've ever heard.
That
is a top 5
I love it. I love it.
I appreciate that.
Anytime. Blackie, you are here in Toronto.
Yes.
For the first time ever, I understand.
First time in Canada ever. Which
oh
is
my gosh.
Insane. Canada's beautiful. The Canada itself is beautiful.
Yeah.
Toronto though is like, okay, I like Toronto.
Yeah, and
I'll be back for sure. Just to visit. I'm
telling you, and you haven't even experienced anything. You're literally coming from the airport, more or less.
Literally.
So you have a whole weekend ahead of you. As you guys could tell by now, we're recording this right before the Toronto Carnival season. But I've brought Blackie here to show him the ropes in T-Dot.
Yeah.
And show him how we do things on this side in the 6. So before we get into all of that, Blackie, one thing I have to say is I love your passion for soca.
Thank you.
And I love, like, you could feel that through your screen.
Yeah.
When you see it pop up on your Instagram and you hear people hear Blackie talk, you could tell you're very, like, passionate about the soca genre and everything involved within that. And, you know, the Caribbean and the islands. Before we even get to that point, let's talk about the moment you fell in love with soca.
The moment, so I started, my dad really is the man. I say for my dad is like the original soca influence, I guess you could say, or like the major person that got me into soca.
Nice.
Because he, without really realizing what he was doing, he just like started playing soca in the car in his black Acura. I say that all the time. And I was like, the first soca song I ever heard was Big Truck by Double M.
Wow.
I didn't even know the genre of soca. I just heard that song. I was like, oh, it's a nice song. Yeah. But that was just playing. My dad's the biggest Bungie fan in the world. Like he's
for good reason.
I've never met a Bungie fan. I've never met a bigger Bungie fan than him.
Wow.
So I was just like, okay, yeah. And like he just started playing his albums, his songs. He'll play Double M as well too. He's a huge fan of him too. And I was just really curious about like this genre as a whole. Literally everything regarding Trini soca, my dad has taught me about. But he did tell me a while back, he said, listen, you know Trinidad soca, but like learn about other island soca as well too. Because there was a point in time where I only thought it was just Trinidad. He said, no, there's other islands as well. There's Grenada, there's Barbados, there's Vinci.
Yeah.
So he told me to go learn about it. And I just started YouTube, because YouTube's like soca hub, unfortunately. We'll get into that. But and I just started Googling like Grenada soca, Vinci soca, St. Lucia, St. Kitts. And I just started learning. So like a lot of the songs you see me talk about in videos, I heard that song back when I was like 8, 9 years old.
Oh my gosh.
So it's just like, yeah, I remember that song. People are like, how do you know that song? I'm like, I heard that song when I was like 10.
Yeah.
Like I've been doing it already. It's nothing new. But people, I guess, except for a lot of people are like surprised when like they see the Trinity flag and head think, oh, he must only know Trinidad. So when I talk about St. Lucia, they're like, he knows that song or he knows that. It's like, yeah, I do my research of all islands, because it's not just, yes, Trinidad created soca, but there's other islands that create soca as well too.
Absolutely. And the beautiful part about it is each place has its own energy, its own unique style that you don't have to be from there to appreciate. right? There's so much culture and influence in the soca from each respective island that it acts like puzzle pieces for the whole picture.
Yeah, it's one of the situations where like, if you just listen to like it's like the popular songs, it's like, okay, this is nice. But once you like really get into like the different underrated songs from like other islands, it's like it's rewarding. It's kind of like a situation where like if you hear it's like, oh, this is nice. Once you start studying it, it's like, oh, this is why they love this so much. And it like first, let me use Grenada as an example. Like you can hear popular songs out of Grenada. But once you really learn about like the underrated ones or like the classics, it's like, oh, I see why Grenadians act the way they act. Like I understand why you love this song so much, so or culture so much. So that's one thing I always enjoy.
Absolutely, and it's a beautiful thing, and I love to see when people, you know, aren't closed-minded to what's out there soca related. Because some people do have the impression the only good soca is from Trinidad, or the only soca is from Trinidad.
Which I would say now in that camera, that is ignorant thinking. It's not true. Trinidad it's great music, but there's literally at least 5 to 6 other islands that have great soca that's gone viral throughout the whole world. So
absolutely, and you know, Toronto is somewhere I am confident you're gonna love. Because we're a melting pot.
Yes, I've seen.
You know,
I've seen the video. Yes, very much true.
And just like New York, which is where you're from, correct?
Yes.
Born and raised, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Right, where you're from, it's a similar situation. There's 3 places that I would say are similar where that's concerned, and that's somewhere like the States, Canada, mainly Toronto, and like a London, where it's like a melting pot of all of these different Caribbean cultures coming into one.
Yeah, I would
say
it's Toronto. In the States, it's New York.
Yeah.
Florida for sure. Miami, to be exact. What else in the States? Atlanta for sure. Those are like the 3. There's obviously other states as well too.
Yeah.
But like those 3 areas, places. Yeah. You're getting Caribbean people left and right.
Yeah.
That love soca.
Love it, and it's a beautiful thing to be, you know, an influencer, DJ, MC, whatever artist in these spaces. That there's people that have an appreciation for a wide variety of soca, you know, and it's a beautiful thing to see. We're gonna get back into the soca conversation. We have to get back into the soca conversation, but as I said at the beginning of the podcast, Blackie, the soca influencer. Now I want to pick apart those things and let's have a discussion. Now I've seen, and you could correct everybody that may have a misconception of where your name came from, but I've seen you post like, guys, Blackie is not because like I'm black. No. There's a reason for this name. So give the story. Where did you get not only Blackie but Blackie Chan?
That's easy. So I had a friend named Alonzo who knew how much I love Jackie Chan. Yeah. Fun facts about Jackie Chan is that his birthday is one day before mine. His birthday is April 7th. My birthday is April 8th.
Interesting.
He's obviously a martial artist. Yeah. He's an actor. He's a producer. He's a writer. He does his own stunts, so that's just cool too. He was in obviously Jackie Chan Adventures back in like the early 2000s. That's a TV show. In Kung Fu Panda, in all the Kung Fu Panda movies, he's the monkey. Like Jackie Chan as a person, he's so cool. And my friend Alonzo knew how much I love Jackie Chan, so he figured Blackie. He added the Chan part. He called me Blackie. I added the Chan part. And that's literally how the nickname came about. It's a much longer story than that because that conversation started back when we was 7. No, I'm lying. 8 years old. Wow. And I just didn't take the nickname serious. I was like, Blackie, whatever. Yeah. To find out he actually, then literally years later when I started going to a different school, I found out he passed away.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I remember when I first made my Facebook account. Yeah. I said, what's a good nickname? And then I remember the conversation we had about the nickname he gave me, and I usually took that nickname and ran with it. I didn't know it ended up being, as big as it is now. But yeah, literally, I did not give myself the name Blackie Chan. That was a friend.
What a story. That's an amazing, and a friend that passed away, so it's something that it lives on with you. Yeah, he lives on with you.
Literally, that's. Yeah.
So Blackie Chan, Jackie Chan. So that means you watched enough Jackie Chan.
Yes.
To know at least a little 1-2 move to kick up certain promoter head top when they don't pay properly. I'm sorry, a little something. So a little something. Yes. But that's a good thing. Blackie Chan, that's a dope story. The soca influencer.
So there was a point in time when I was creating content. I didn't think Blackie was a more professional name. So I said, you know what, Blackie should probably have a second nickname. Yeah. So what I did was, this ironically enough, the whole Soca Influencer name came before the whole influencer market was a thing. Wow. I did a poll on my Instagram in 2019.
Yeah.
It was right before Miami Carnival. And I remember the exact date. It was October 6, 2019. And I remember I did a poll. I said, what's a nickname I should do? I told it to my supporters, and they said I put Soca Influencer on one side and Soca Warrior on the other side. The 90% was Soca Influencer.
Yeah.
So literally 2 days later, on October 8th, or was it 3 days later? It was either October 8th or October 9th. I'll probably post the clip of me saying it, but there's a clip of me literally saying for the first time ever, as a Soca Influencer, you need to love Soca. You can drink. I said something.
Yeah.
And I took that name and ran with it. This is before TikTok. This is before the whole influencer market took off. So I didn't even know the whole influencer thing would even be a thing before.
You got
I started calling myself that. It was just a name.
Yeah.
I was like, Soca Influencer, yeah. Now with TikTok taking off and the whole influencer market, obviously we see how people react to the word influencering. That
We're definitely going to get into that comment. We have to.
Before that market even took off, I was calling myself that before.
Yeah.
Before that even took off. Yeah.
So let's talk about you becoming an influencer, right? Now, again, as you said, this name just came about in so many special ways before an influencer even became a thing. Now, as this market is emerging and this subgenre of, I guess, something that you can be in the industry, an influencer, as that's emerging and you're now creating an awareness for your brand and yourself in that space, what are some challenges that you face getting yourself established as an influencer? I
think it's especially, let's just talk more Caribbean people. I feel a lot of Caribbean people see the whole influencer name and immediately put a negative thing to it.
Yep.
And then they'll see my content, be like, "Blackie, you're not really influencing, you're more like a content creator." I told you, like, I am a content creator. It's just the Soca Influencer name is just there because one, the name just sounds cool, so of course I'm going to say it. But I consider myself more of a content creator. But the challenges, to answer your question, the challenges you suffer from is basically the stereotype or the stigma of like, oh, he's an influencer, so he's stuck up or he's hard to work with.
Yeah.
What's some other things you'll hear people say, like, oh, he does not really care about the culture. He cares about money and stuff like that and getting stuff for free. Yeah. That is literally the exact opposite of me. I say all the time, if you really want to learn about me, just watch my content. Yep. Don't see Soca Influencer and think, oh, I don't want to talk about it. Let's watch my content. Yeah. That's some of the challenges I deal with because people just see the name influencer and think, oh, he's one of those. It's like, no, watch my page.
but now let's talk about one of those, right? And that's kind of where I was going with the conversation. When we're talking about influencers and the stigma behind that, something that grinds my gears, I don't really like that there is a stigma for a subgenre in the industry that's promoting the culture.
Exactly.
And yes, I do understand there may be certain like niche arguments where it's like, well, I don't like how they influence soca. That's not the full culture. Whereas you, for instance, like you could see you're diving into each culture and studying like what's actually going on, the people, the competitions, etc. But while I can have an understanding that, you know, one person might not like how this one posts videos about only whining and they think all influencers are bad. Exactly. The point I'm trying to get at is the stigma behind that. Is there anything I didn't touch on that, like there's a reason for stigma?
I think it's, you know how like there's always like bad apples in the bunch? I think the bad apples have gone viral, end up on Follow Soca, or end up on whatever viral page. Yeah. It creates that bad stigma. So like when you see someone like I'm not gonna call no names. So let's not do that. But let's say there's somebody who goes viral for doing something that's harmful to the culture. They assume that all content creators or all influencers like that. Yeah. And they don't think for a second, oh, maybe that's just that one bad apple in the bunch. So me personally, like I don't allow it to affect me because I know what my content is. I tell people all the time, just watch my page. Like just watch my videos. I will send you my videos if you need me to. But I don't allow the stigma to affect me because I know what I'm about. Even people will vouch for me and say, yeah, Blackie doesn't do that. Blackie talks about actual things within the culture. Yep. So that's like the thing I try to do. I pride myself on.
And that's one of the worst things. Before people would take a second to actually look at your content.
Like just look at it.
They've blanketed you under like all the stigmas involved. Now, with that being said, well, I guess you kind of explained it. What other maybe ideas do you have to get rid of that stigma, if not just for you, but for the influencer brand?
I think one idea I have is like just start creating like I want to create like a group of like content creators or around soca, of course, but like the Caribbean culture as a whole, because you're starting to see a bunch of people become content creators.
Yeah.
Or whether it's through TikTok or through Instagram, because they're realizing, I have Caribbean background. I know X amount of things, so let me just try it. So I want to create like a group to where everyone's helping each other become bigger and better content creators. Because I'm realizing a lot of us are just like doing our own thing.
Yeah.
And we'll see each other, hey, I know you, big of you. But it's like, I feel like we can like create like I don't know how this, I haven't thought of it yet, but like some type of support group, a group in general, to where we can all help each other and succeed together. Because I do believe you're starting to see the rise of content creators or influencers within the space as a whole as well too. Because the content creator market is only going to get bigger, because you're seeing people be like, this is a viable option. So that's one.
And I again, like to add to that point, I would say that for the people that are thinking that way, please don't just look at like one of Blackie's videos and say, hey, I could do this. I could post myself going crazy in a fet and just go viral. Like, there's a lot that comes behind this.
Let me actually say that. Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah, like people think, they will see the clip of whatever clip I post. It takes timing, understanding what moment is at the party, understand is the party at its highest, as in like it's at the peak moment of the party, is the beginning of the party. You need to understand when it's the right moment to record. People say all the time, how am I able to like get the right moment? It's because I literally will study the vibes of a party. If the moment I see that the vibes is like not where I want to be, I will not record it. The vibes is where I need to be, my phone's already recording.
That's amazing. And then you know the soca well enough to know, like, okay, this part of the song they're saying put your hands in there.
Yeah.
So you know exactly when to do your thing.
Yeah. Or if it's an event like Tsunami, quick plug.
I like it.
But events like Tsunami, like I don't know, okay, more like remember where we all fling the water. So that's an easy, quick video right there, because it's going to be over 5,000 people at Tsunami. So that's
absolute
content.
Facts. And one thing that I want to emphasize and highlight to what you just said, do you have some fancy camera you bring around with you?
No, my phone.
your cell phone, right?
It's literally my phone.
Is this like the brand new iPhone 15 Max?
Nah, this is the 13. This is 13? It's 13, yeah.
But the camera works, no?
Yeah, it works.
And it gets the content done, no? And the job gets done, no? So you don't need to overthink it is what I'm saying, people.
It's just that simple.
Yeah.
It's really just that easy.
Yeah. I want to get into a little more of the process of how you make your videos, right?
Right.
We're going to talk about that, then we're going to get into some spicy stuff. The videos. I want you to like, let's do this like for the people, because as you said, this is not like a known genre, or there isn't necessarily a formula that people could like per se follow. Right. And a lot of what you do, it seems like it's built off of vibe and like your vibe in the moment, or your vibe in the...
Yeah, it's built off of energy and vibes and just how everything's flowing in the moment. Got
it. So now that you've kind of sharpened your sword where that's concerned, literally walk us through like what it takes to make a video that you post online.
So what kind of video are you talking about? You're talking about it's like
let's talk
party video.
No, not in party. Like basically when you're at your crib with the Trini bandana on.
Right.
What does it take for you to walk us through that experience?
Like
from start to finish.
I'm talking about a certain song.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, the first thing I do is I listen to the entire song 5 times.
Okay.
5 times in a row. I listen 5 times so I can understand, so I can know from 1 second to the last. So let's say a song's like 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Right.
I will literally listen to a song 5 times in a row. Listen from the first second to the last minute of the song, basically. Yeah. And I'll understand what parts are more important, what parts will resonate with people when you're listening to it. So what I'll do is I usually do this thing where I'll start talking for the first 15 seconds, because the people have short attention spans. So the first 15 seconds you have to say something to grab a hook. So I'll say something like whatever, and then I will immediately put in the song. I put probably like close to the chorus of the song and play that part. And then after that part plays for like about 30 seconds, I'll say something else.
Got it.
And then I'll basically at like the chorus part of the song, where it's like that's where the most energy's at, basically the middle of the song, include that part. And then once like about 30-45 seconds of that song plays, I insert a next clip and I say something else and I close it out.
Nice.
And then sometimes in my video I'll do this thing where like it will go to black and you see like the screen, and I'll say something else at the end that's like a funny like quip just before I have my outro. That's usually what I do.
And then the soca.
That actually, Gel sent me that. Gel sent me that. That soca, and I said, "Oh, that's maybe
the one.
That's the one." Once I heard that, I said, "Oh, this is good. I'll use that."
There was an era where That was a popular Soca DJ sample.
Yeah.
And, you know, I love that sample, but it fits perfectly in your videos.
Yeah.
And it makes me remember every time I watch it. Maybe I should watch up until that point because something's coming, and then I know it's the end of the video.
But that's just like one. Every video I make is different.
Right, exactly.
Because it depends on the song. Like if I'm covering a groovy song, my energy gonna make I'm still gonna be loud because my energy. I mean, I'm super loud, super quiet based on my voice. Yeah. But if I'm covering like a groovy song, the vibe is gonna be much more focused towards like how do you feel.
Yeah.
If it's a power, I'm gonna say this song probably gonna make you lose your mind. You're gonna pick up something out of effect, blah blah stuff like that. So it really just depends on what song I'm covering, and I purposely like pick certain parts in the song that are like at its highest or give you the most what's the word I'm looking for, most feelings, or give you the most emotions. There we go. That when you listen to it, when you're watching, you're like, oh, I agree with that. Yeah. So that's like one of the process I have.
I love it, and just to like
also fun fact too. I don't put any video I post. I have to watch it 7 times in a row. I go through like a 7-step process.
That's crazy.
If one of the videos miss or one of the steps is not where I want it to be, the video does not get posted. Yeah. So any video you see, it goes through a 7-step process. That's crazy. If it is not past the 7 process, it does not go up.
Wow.
That's literally how I run my videos.
So how many would you say, like, or a percentage? How much percent would you say doesn't even make it to the light of day?
There's at least, I have to look at my computer, but there's probably at least like over, but you said percentage or like number? Percentage,
like out of the content you like create, what actually sees Instagram versus what never sees it?
Like 50% of the content, 50% of videos don't see Instagram.
Jeez.
Because I probably said something wrong or I looked at the camera the wrong way, or the lighting's off. Because if my lighting's off, which is usually I use sunlight. I don't use like you're using. Oh, by the way, guys, he's in a great studio. Yeah. Like, I wish I could see the cameras here. I say that.
I'll post a video or some of the studio so y'all can see.
But yeah, I use like natural sunlight, so the lighting's off. If I edit something the wrong way, it just doesn't see the light of day. Like I don't believe in being perfect. Yeah. But when it comes to that 7-step process, I gotta be perfect there.
Because, and you know what it is too, and something for everybody to take, like this is a takeaway for everybody. When you do something and put it out, you never know where that's gonna go or how far it's going to reach.
Exactly.
So why not take the extra, like whatever time it takes, seconds, minutes, to fix that little thing? If you watch it back and it's bothering you, I promise you, if that goes viral and you think back to that like 10 years later and you think back to the viral post, you're gonna be upset.
Like
you didn't fix it.
Why didn't I fix that? Like I saw it in whatever a video editing application you're using. Why didn't I just remove it? It's like, nah, let me post it.
Yeah.
Like it shocks me that people will watch a video in their editing platform and still post it. It's like, you didn't think not to post this? Yeah. like why are you like no? Yeah. Like there's so many videos online, bro. I'll be like, how you allow this to happen? It's crazy.
Soca. Now, you mentioned earlier in that conversation that people may watch it and agree with it, like because there's emotions in the video.
Yeah.
Knowing Blackie, or at least seeing Blackie on social media, I've seen that you are a very opinionated person.
Yes.
And if you have an opinion or a thought on something, and it's not necessarily in a bad way, but you're very strong-minded on whatever it is you have set yourself to that opinion on.
Yes, I'm very hard-headed. Exactly. I'm very
your words. As I said, strong-minded. PC, politically correct.
No, I'm very hard-headed. Like when I believe in something, it is God himself will have to change my mind. I'm sorry. It's just true. Like when I believe in something, I believe in it. Yeah. So like I say all the time, like if I say something on Instagram or on TikTok that you just don't agree with, it's fine. People disagree with me all the time.
So this is the spicy part.
Yeah.
People disagree with you. People are going to have their own opinions.
Right.
People may misunderstand or just flat out like be mad at what you said.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced that? And what are some of those scenarios and things that people could learn from if they ever face that? Like being misunderstood and.
Disclaimer: don't say anything. Obviously, if you say anything harmful, that probably why people disagree with you. But if it's just like an opinion that someone just doesn't agree with, and people are not disrespecting you because somebody disagree with you, it's automatically a form of disrespect before automatically disrespecting you before actually having the conversation. Engage with that person. Like there's times in my comment section where I will say something in the video and someone be like, nah, Blackie, I disagree with that. And we'll go back and forth or we'll talk in the DMs about it. And we'll just like, it'll be either a situation where like they end up agreeing with me, or I agree with them, or it's agree to disagree and move on. Like I'm the kind of person where I'm okay with agree to disagree.
Right.
It's not going to affect our friendship, anything like that. But some people think disagree is automatic like beef. It's like, no, you just don't agree on this topic.
It's a thing.
Yeah, so you don't agree on this topic.
Has it ever escalated? And not to say like, obviously, I don't think it's ever gone to a point where if you're feuding about soca, you're gonna put hands on each other.
Nah,
but has it ever escalated to a point where it's like this is uncomfortable?
There was one situation where I had to block somebody because they were saying something very harmful and I didn't like. I didn't like where it was going. Like I knew what could have been said next. I said, you know what, you're getting blocked. Yeah, I block people fast. Yeah, like I can handle negative comments, but once you get to the ignorant comments or even worse than that, you're getting blocked. I can deal with you disagree with me. Yeah, but once you start saying stuff, it's like, why would you say that about this? Nah. But to answer the question about how can people learn from that, it's more of a matter of understand that you are on the internet. Yeah, people are going to disagree with you. True. That is just the truth. You can use that to still start a conversation that is healthy and still helps the culture as well too. That's something I advise for a lot of content creators that they should think about. That's
amazing and something that people really need to understand. Yeah, this is a space where you're going to be disagreed with. Yep. And sometimes I could go online and I promise you, I could have a graphic that says 1 + 1 = 2, and somebody will be in the comments disagreeing with that. Well, no, 1 + 1 could. Yes, okay. On to the next. But this is what's unfortunately in the space. Yeah. And not everybody has to agree with you, but just understand that's out there and there's ways of dealing with it. And as Blackie said, that block button definitely still works.
I'm not afraid of block people. The moment you get like to where you are like saying something really like just ignorant, it's like you're getting blocked.
Period.
Like you're getting blocked.
I do not need to see you on my timeline. You've violated me and my brand. What else is there to talk about?
There's nothing to talk about. Goodbye.
When you see me in the streets, pass. It's that simple.
It's really that simple.
But I get it, and it's something that you do have to deal with. Typically, it's from a crowd perspective or like audience that's watching your stuff and responding. Yeah. Have you ever gotten disagreements from like a figure in the industry or like maybe people? Like I know you mentioned one in particular you don't necessarily want to speak on, but anything else? Is there like something that maybe stood out to you like, okay, I said this, they fully didn't agree with it, and then like what did you do to deal with that?
There's a couple of DJs and a couple of artists that's like I'll say something in the video and they just won't agree. Yeah. And like we'll talk about it either in the comment section and stuff via DM, or if I see them at an event, we'll just talk about it. Got it. We'll talk about it. It's never. I never had a situation outside of one situation where like it got to where like I didn't want to have a conversation with somebody. I love talking to people. I really do. Unless your energy is kind of weird, I don't want to talk to you. But I like having conversations with people. Like I feel at times I talk too much, so at times I like to be quiet sometimes. Yeah. But once I start talking like how we're talking right now, I could talk forever. But when it comes to like artists or DJs that disagree with me on something I said in a video, I'm open to the conversation, just like us talking about it. Whether we end up agreeing with each other or we agree, disagree, it's not really any beef. 'Cause I love to hash things out. It's never anything to where it's personal. It's just like you said, I'm a very opinionated person. Yeah. It's like when I have an opinion, I believe it. Yeah. Like everything I say everything I say in my videos, I believe. Right. You can take anything I say, I really believe it.
Got it. One thing I could see about you too is you don't really force content. And there's never a point where I've watched your stuff like, why are you even doing this? Like it feels like forced. It seems like you're not only calculated, but you draw inspiration from certain places, certain times. So maybe walk us through that. Like where do you draw your inspiration from?
Well, TikTok definitely does help.
Yeah. Okay.
And also just like I have so much video ideas in my head. Yeah. Like I say, like majority of the content you see, I recorded that video like 2 months before the actual like day itself. Got it. So like it's usually old videos. My inspiration really comes from the fact that I just know that in the Caribbean space, we talk about the same thing over and over again. It's like, let's just change the conversation
a little bit
about something else. So like, I'll just like be sitting down, just thinking about like literally on my way here, I was thinking about video ideas. Yeah. Like thinking about how I'm going to do videos for Soca Sleepover or Tsunami or something.
You told us about 3 before the podcast even started. I was like, what? That's ready.
Yeah, like literally my mind is always thinking about content because it's just like that content is king.
How the hell you end up in a shopping cart? I think I saw a video of you in a shop. I was like, wait, what? That might have been the one. I'm like, what are you doing?
That was so.
It's funny, but yeah.
Yeah, I can talk about that. So you're talking about I made a video. I'll clip it. I'll clip it once it goes up.
Yeah.
But I made a video to Lyricals on the Zero Exit rhythm, Bad Gal and Liquor. Yeah. And I had a friend who records all those kind of videos. Yeah. He lives in Harlem, and I used to go to school in Harlem, and we went to a parking lot that has 4 levels. We started on the top level. Yeah. Then we went to the 3rd level, and we recorded the first shot on the 4th level and the 3rd shot and the final shot on the 3rd level. And I was like, I want to add something because we was at the end of the video because we recorded everything else. But I wanted to do something different. I was like, how can I change things up? We saw a shopping cart. I said, yo, I need you to push me all the way to the end of that end of the parking lot, and then just cut the video. He was like, what? I said, don't worry. When I edit and post it, you'll see. Yeah. And then that's what happened.
I love it.
And literally, fun fact too, like that video. I know a lot of soca artists don't have like music videos like certain songs. So I started a series called like 1 minute soca music videos. Well, it's 90 seconds now, but 1 minute soca music videos, and I just started doing it.
Nice. I know I was noticing those at that time. I think that was around when I started to understand, okay, this is Blackie, this is what he does. Out of all the content you've created, now as you said, 50% doesn't even see the light of day. Out of all the content that you put out there, the reality of it is sometimes, you have a good feeling about what you're putting out, that it might do well or it will do well. Right. Out of all the content you've put out, which content has done the best and why do you think that is? Maybe even if you want to pinpoint specific videos or whatever the case, which of your posts have gone the most viral, as well as which ones did you say to yourself, yeah, this is the one, and then it may not have done what you thought it would do? Oh, that's a good question.
Usually the best videos I do really well, like no matter what, is the ones where I'm in a different country, in a different area that's not New York. So I was in St. Lucia. Those videos were just eating up. More likely here in Toronto, those videos are going to do well too. So like when I'm like not in normal space, I'm actually like in these places that people follow me and support me at, it does well. Videos where I'm talking about new songs that people love always do well. Always. There's some other videos that I know for a fact do well. Any videos where I'm bashing DJs about not playing soca a certain way.
Why we always have to get those?
Definitely not you. Okay, definitely far from you.
I'm standing up for my people. I'm just but go ahead.
Okay, certain DJs I should say
okay, got
that are like playing a certain way or not playing certain songs. Yeah. Those videos always do well. Yeah. I can't say that because I did make one video bashing a certain promoter.
I know.
Those videos once in a blue moon do well because I don't do that much videos like that. Yeah. Where I'm coming at a certain promoter. You probably deserved it. Yeah. If I do that, because you look at my content, I don't do that. But usually, now to answer your second question, there was one video I did where I was like, oh, this is a banger. This is gonna be fun. I gotta find it. I think it was a video of me talking about. Oh, it was recently. I posted a video talking about Antigua's Road March literally yesterday. Yesterday. Today is what? July 31st. Yeah. I'm not sure when this is going up. It's going to apply after Carolina. Yeah. But July 31st, I posted a video literally on July 30th about Antigua's Road March. I was like, oh, this is going to be fire. It had 50 likes after 3 hours. I said, oh, okay, yeah, this does not do good at all. I was very upset.
You're distraught. Yeah, you think so highly of it, and yeah.
So like, really, I mean, I usually when I'm editing a video, I have an idea of like, okay, this video should do pretty well. But usually, sometimes when I get really happy about a video, I get kind of suspicious now. I'll be like, oh, this may do bad. Because why am I getting so happy about it? But then in some videos, I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to do good, and I'm doing good. So it's really depends on a certain video. But like videos where like I'm at events and events vibes and fun, oh, that video is going to do well. I'll be shocked if it doesn't do well.
Facts. And it's again, something people can relate to, something people want to see. Like you're at your 9 to 5, sometimes you want to see Blackie in whatever country he's in. Yeah. Having a great time because and that's another thing too when we're talking about the influencer conversation. A lot of people demonize that term, influencer. But that's enabling a lot of potential sales, potential fans. Exactly. Like there's many factors involved. And you just have to determine, okay, is this the right influencer for your business?
And even then, like I think that's what I mentioned. When it comes to like influencer and content creator, they're two separate things, but they're in the same space. Yeah. content creators create content about whatever their niche is. Influencers also do. Influencers sell a product as well too. Like when we see influencers trying to sell something, they're promoting it. They're trying to sell you something, which I have done as well too. So like I consider myself both a content creator and influencer because like there's times where obviously I create content about soca and stuff like that, but also I will promote a certain event because I'm working with a certain promoter, or I'm trying to sell tickets because I'm doing an event myself. So like it really comes both hand in hand when it comes to content creator and influencer. A lot of people want to be content creators, but really they're influencers because they're always promoting a certain event.
Got it.
But they're not really like content creators because they're not talking about stuff outside. They're not really talking about stuff that's not selling a product.
And it makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, the conversation you just brought up about promoters not paying.
Yeah, I have a lot of opinions about this. So
Exactly. And so do I, because I mean, it's something that's disgusting, and it's made me corner myself in a market where it's like, I'm just focused on my stuff. I don't even have time for anybody that's not treating me right.
Yeah.
I don't have the time for it. So let's just like keep it moving. But, you know, you were very vocal at a point in time on Instagram about a promoter not fulfilling their end of an agreement.
Yeah.
Right. And I shared my sentiments with you when that was transpiring.
Yeah.
And I'll relay it just because I want the people to hear at least like a well-rounded perspective on it.
Right.
But when you did post that, you were posting something to the tone of, this person didn't pay me. I'm upset. Like, this is the contract. I don't understand what's going on. That is a position many people, especially in this industry, I find themselves in.
Yeah, I've heard the stories.
Many stories, and I could go down the list of my history. But for you to have dealt with that is something that, you know, I frown upon. I don't like that. But to dive into this component of the podcast and doing a video that airs out the dirty laundry, what was your mentality and why did you do that?
I did it because we and it's actually two other people I was within this situation that I gotta word this carefully, but basically we did not what was agreed upon in the contract was not what was given to us.
Right.
Or it was given to us at a very slow rate or a very sloppy rate. Or basically the promoter like talk to us in the beginning and just disappear.
Yeah.
You know, that's the favorite. That's everyone's favorite.
You don't know where to find them.
And I'm a kind of person like, if I'm very quiet during an event or during a situation where like I'm just observing something I don't like.
Yeah.
If I know everything's going smoothly and I'm just like, I know everything's gonna be fine. Oh, I'm gonna have a great time. But if I feel like there's some shadiness here, I'm gonna sit back and just watch. Yeah. If I'm quiet and you know something's up, it's like throughout the entire trip, I can't even say the place because once I say the place, people know.
Yeah. We don't even need to give that kind of energy the time of day.
It was in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
That gives away, but fine, whatever. It was in the Caribbean.
It was one of your bookings.
One of my bookings. There we go.
Yeah.
And throughout the entire trip, I was like, you know what? Let's just see how it goes. Because even before I made the video, I was like still creating content for the promoter, stuff like that. And like the trip was fine. We was in a B&B. I should have been in a hotel because agreed upon the contract. But whatever, fine. I get it. You know, I'm not a person where I'm like I'm a diva. Like
you're not confident. Yeah, exactly.
Like I work with anything. Just don't put me in that like in a cardboard box. Like So
I've been in some cardboard boxes though. Just like that one right there.
I saw your St. Kitts story. But
so
no, like while I was in that place. Basically, I was noticing a lot of people telling me like, "Black, this is not how it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be here," and I'm like, "Okay, that's interesting." And then as like we got closer and closer to the end of the trip, and I saw things unravel, it was like, "Oh!" And then something really happened. And then once it happened to me, where I saw how this promoter acted, it was like, "Really? You was acting so great at the beginning of the trip. Now your energy just completely shifted once you realize, oh, I got what I wanted out of you. Now I'm gonna throw you away." It's like, oh, so you was just using me the entire time. And once I started, and then I reread the contract to see what he missed, and I realized, wait a minute, he didn't do this, he didn't do this, he didn't do this. I'm like, and mind you, at the end of the contract, it's both our signatures. We are on the phone talking about the contract, how we agreed upon it with my booking agent. I'm like, What? Am I missing something here?
Some of these people are wicked. Man.
Like, bro, like I could understand if we didn't even have a contract. I can't complain. But the fact that it was agreed upon contract, it was on the phone.
But that you signed.
And we talked about a contract with my booking agent. Even my booking agent was like, yeah, Blackie, make that video. It got so bad I could say
your booking agent said to make the
my booking agent said, make the video. Like she understood. But it got so bad to where basically when I was leaving the place I was booked for, I was heated, but I didn't really show my face because I'm very even kill. I was just mad. I was like, wait a minute, he still hasn't paid me or paid the rest of what we agreed upon. So I said, you know what? While on the flight, on my way to board the flight, I posted my Instagram story, XX, right? Literally, the promoter got so scared once he saw how much supporters I have on my Instagram and how people know I will quick to say what I feel. Yeah. He ran to, let's just say, the bank. Yeah. It wasn't a bank, it was Western Union, to pay me. And because he was so scared of the fact that, oh, he's going to really air me out. Yeah. Well, once he lands, still did it anyways, but he did pay me once he finally saw that I was serious. And like that could have been avoided because like, you could ask any promoter I worked with. Like it's very simple. I give you a rate. If you don't give if you don't agree to the rate, we'll possibly negotiate it, or we don't work with each other. Just that simple. I'm not a hard person to work with. So like the fact that we had a contract, we agreed upon it, and you just didn't follow it. It's like, why? Like why? You signed it. Yeah. And all. It's something that there's more to that story, but that's basically it.
That's the gist of it. But it's beyond me why people can't just follow a simple agreement.
Literally.
You wanted me booked. We had a conversation of whatever is transpiring in this business transaction. We write it down on paper so it's clear understanding of what's going on. And you read it, or at least we hope you did, and sign it. But sometimes people, no, I'll sign it, I'll do what I want. Like, to be real, and I've seen this in the industry, a lot of people outsource outside of us.
Yeah.
And our company is actually looking at doing a very similar thing in certain aspects of these festivals for our carnival or just our events in general. Sometimes it's hard to rely on our people for a simple transaction or a simple thing. And outsourcing it a lot of times is like, why are we looking outside when we have everything inside? It's just a matter of getting the business right and doing it correctly.
And mind you, I'm so saying, I know promoters have the money to pay you. They just don't want to pay.
Yeah.
It's all about getting the profit, getting the most amount of profits. There we go. Which I understand from a business aspect because I've thrown events. Yeah. But if you know you're booking somebody, that person needs to get paid.
Yeah.
You can still profit you can still profit off of X event or X band you work with.
Yeah.
And still, and you can still, what am I saying? You can still profit off of whatever business you're doing, but also still pay people who need to pay. There we go. That's what I'm going to say.
That's a fact. But I guess my gripe with what you did at that time, which I understand it fully, there's many issues I've dealt with where I've wanted to air the nonsense out of certain people. And I'm a guy, I have all the receipts.
No, I'm a receipt person.
Exactly. I saw that video. That's why I understand. But I'm the same way. I'll have the receipts if you even try that conversation. And I wish I could air people out sometimes. But for me personally, and this is personally, everybody has their own way, and maybe this is where we have difference of opinion on stuff. I just find that it not worth the time of day, especially in a case where like I believe you mentioned as you advertise this, there was 1 million people that came to you like, oh yeah, we know this guy. He doesn't pay people properly.
Oh, I didn't even mention that part. Yeah. There was a lot of people within the place a lot of people that's from the place where that situation happened at. They told me like, yeah, Blackie, why did you work with him?
Yeah.
Like when I first announced it, I was in a WhatsApp group chat and it was like, yeah, Blackie, why did you even decide to work with him? You could have came to us. You would have booked you and all.
Right.
I was like, you know what, guys, it's fine. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
Hindsight.
Exactly.
That was right. So
and this is what it is. But my thing is, a lot of these guys have their own way of doing certain stuff and their own demons they're dealing with. Yeah. And something like that, although you are completely in the right, they may take it as offensive. They may take it as disrespect. And you don't know what a lot of these guys, especially them island guys, you don't know how they will react to certain stuff. And me telling you as somebody who is a fan of your content,
you told me this.
I was like, Blackie, like I see you, how you operate when you go to these spaces. you be walking sometimes in the street with your phone. It's like, I get it, but it's like you're showing yourself like, I'm free. I'm doing these things in the islands that where it's like it's not your home per se.
Yeah, true.
And
Very true.
if these guys now take your, I guess, lashback, for lack of better words, as disrespect, God knows what they're gonna end up thinking about doing.
Yeah.
And if they so happen to see Blackie with his phone on the road in whatever island, and they have a rift with you, that's, from my perspective, I was saying that's not even worth that video.
That's true.
I get what you're doing and the business side of it. You're right. But that one person one day is the one that might, like, that's not the one you might want to play with.
Yeah.
And fast forward on top of that, I would say too that, you know, you posting those things, it does bring awareness and a light to that. So maybe on the flip side, there's positive aspects about it, because you're showing people like, this is not a guy that anybody should work with because of how he dealt with me.
Like, I remember, but I mean, when you told me that, I was like, once you told me that, I said, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Once I realized when it comes to that situation, a lot of people within that place where they don't mess with that promoter.
Yeah.
I was hanging around the right people. But it's just, I worked with the wrong promoter.
Got it.
So I didn't have to really worry about like being outside and like someone possibly coming and harming me or something like that, because I was with the right people. It's just I worked with the wrong promoter. So
Got it.
Next time, hopefully this next time,
Yeah.
anyone who knows what situation I'm talking about,
Yeah.
I will be back. By the way,
if you know, you know.
If you know, you know. I will be back to that place, just not working with that promoter.
Got it.
I now know to just not work with that promoter, but be with the right, but still work with the people I was hanging with when I was down there.
Facts. You know, these promoters that do this, they have a reputation already.
Yeah.
Whatever they've done to you, if somebody has messed you up or disrespected you, you wouldn't believe the amount of like disrespectful violations that I've had to witness, and I've held my tongue when I could go on social media and air these people out. But as a more mature person than I used to be, where there was a time, I would have gone on Instagram and I would have put all the receipts. I would have told people exactly what happened and why this person's a POS. And that doesn't mean Port of Spain. But
I'm using that.
But my thing is, people that do you something nasty likely have a track record of it, right? And have done it to you. So 9 times out of 10, they're about to do it to somebody else.
Yeah.
The person before might not have played. You might not play.
Yeah.
But that next person they do it to is probably that one that's not playing. And you do something wrong to the one that's not playing, God help you. You're going to have a lot bigger fish to fry, in my opinion. And I've seen it time and time again, like clockwork in this industry.
Like even people, when I made that video, even people was like, okay, I'm not gonna be with that band for when I eventually go down. Because people know, like, I know I make videos like saying DJs need to do this, promoters need to do this, but I never call names.
Yeah.
I purposely generalize it.
Yeah.
I purposely generalize because I don't want to like cause trouble. But like, if you deserve for me to make that video and
you deserve
to
it.
call the band name and then call the promoter's name, you deserve it, because I do not make videos like that. I purposely generalize it when I say DJ and say promoters. It's for a reason, because if I say the actual name of certain DJ promoters, it's going to cause trouble all over the place, and that I know.
Absolutely. And you know, again, it's just like clockwork. They're going to do it to more people down the road, but one of those people will not accept your disrespect.
Yeah.
And they will trouble you. They will harm you. They'll do something to you that could have ultimately end your whole business. So to me, that's just a ticking time bomb waiting to happen.
Yeah.
I don't have to go into the theatrics of responding online and airing out people. Like, I leave that to what it is, and I kill people with success.
Yeah.
You piss me off, what I will do is bury my head in the work and get it done. One thing you're not going to do is outwork me.
Yeah. Like,
Period.
I won't mention it, but there's one situation that we both know. What I'm not gonna say it, but you know about. How can I word this? When I see people throw first time events in different places, and establish. I gotta word this carefully. When I see promoters throw events, first time events, at the same day as an established event, that bothers me a lot. You know what I'm talking about. Not going to mention, of course. That bothers me a lot, because it's like, why would you do that when you know this person has an established event, it's going to be successful, and you think I could have squeezed in my thing because I'm going to steal some of his crowd, and when it doesn't work, it's like, oh, I probably should have not done that. So, like you said, killed him with success, and you definitely have done that.
Yeah,
Tsunami.
Period. maybe they still think it's a good idea, or whatever the case is. I don't care. I used that block button and I pressed it very hard on my screen. I might have cracked my screen a little bit, but I pressed that block button. I focused on the work with my team. We didn't entertain any of the nonsense.
You made that clear.
Our sales are faster than ever.
Yeah, well, Tsunami's like 20 tickets?
5,000. There's 600. There's less than 600 tickets left right now.
For Tsunami?
And it's Wednesday. Tsunami's this Sunday.
Yeah, that's going to be going.
That will be gone by Friday.
That'll be gone by Friday, yeah.
We have sold faster than ever this year. We've added an entirely new event to our weekend lineup this year. That's selling like crazy. Soca has Juve. Thank you. Why am I going back and forth with somebody on social media right now?
Don't need to.
I'm pouring into the people that love us, the people that subscribe to us, that appreciate what we do, and come to me like, Buzz, you're changing the game. Buzz, we love your events. Buzz, this. That's who I'm focused on.
Like, I was watching. I remember when you told us a post about the times the tickets get released.
Yeah,
I've seen Hunger Games with tickets.
Yeah.
Big up Buy for Omega and the Buy for team.
Yeah.
So I know about the whole Hunger Games.
Yeah.
But like seeing it with ticket game, I was like, yo, these people are like crying at the fact that they didn't get the tickets in time. Like it was serious.
No, this was like a next level Hunger Games.
Yeah, I saw like you literally posted.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like
It's insane. And like just that's a lesson I would appreciate everybody taking away.
People had computers, legit, like 4 computers lined up with their friends, literally waiting for the tickets to drop, like sitting in the queue.
Let me tell you, my barber, his stepdaughter wanted to come to this event.
Crazy.
She had them all sitting at the dining room table with laptops with each of them, making sure, guys, I need your help, get the Tsunami tickets. I'm like, the world had gone crazy for these Tsunami tickets.
That's crazy.
And did we have to entertain the nonsense?
No.
Did I have to respond to anything? We focused and we got the job done. So all of this back and forth on social media, there's never any need for it. I shouldn't say never, because I don't want to say this and then, something happens where I need to respond.
Right.
I'm more the type where I will respond if it's necessary.
Yeah.
If it's something like what you said earlier, a fabrication on your name or like a lie or like disrespectful stuff that you're just attacking me at that point,
yeah, I have
the block button still works.
A block button's the worst, or if you're really attacking my character.
Yeah.
Especially for me personally, sometimes if you come at my character or my content, then yeah, I'm responding to you and then I'm blocking you. Because now you're trying to assassinate my character, and that to me that's crazy. For me personally, because I don't bother nobody.
That's my
crazy.
thing. I stay out the way.
I just make videos about Soca, and mind my business.
Period.
You attacking me for what? So,
and imagine coming for your entire livelihood.
Like
that's feeding an entire community that you've cultivated. That is violation, and I want nothing to do with you.
So yeah, I'm gonna respond.
But we did our thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna respond and block you. Because why? Just why?
And sometimes I don't even need a response. That block button is just what you need sometimes.
Yeah, there's definitely certain, like I was on a podcast with the Soca analyst.
I watched that. Yeah,
Jel, Rich,
nice
and Gino. Big up them, the Soca analyst. And man, the comment section and some of the clips, you probably seen it.
Yeah.
Comment section, listen, there's a lot of older people, old heads as I like to call them. Says some things is like, oh, you lucky I don't want to respond to, because it's just not worth it. You're showing who you are as a person.
Exactly. So. And you just let the cards play how they play, but as long as you work and you keep with a good heart, you're always gonna win.
Yeah.
And I keep it like that, and the real ones are going to be by your side through the hard times.
Yeah, I agree.
So that is a very important takeaway, and that's what the point of this podcast is, the Up From Here podcast. You tune in, you see our special guest like Blackie. We talk about his life, his career, what he's done, and through the stories and the trials and tribulations he's dealt with, you can now take those lessons from a story, apply it to your own life, and after you're done the podcast, it is literally only up from here.
Only up from here.
Love
Actually,
it.
wait, you're posting this after the big, so I can actually say it, right?
Now you could say, yeah.
Yeah. He had Iwer Georgia on before me, guys. It's crazy. That is crazy. When he sent me that screenshot, I was like, yo, he had Iwer Georgia. Because in fact, you just went past everybody with the Iwer. Yeah. Still like I know it's not up yet because we're recording right now, but I'm confident. Yeah. After. We'll see it, obviously.
We'll see it just now.
Yeah, that's that.
But that's the biggest one, that the biggest podcast I was supposed to do. It was supposed to be recorded end of June. It was like lined up to be recorded.
The Iwer one?
No.
Oh, it's another one.
I'll beep it, but
Oh,
that,
definitely beat that. Definitely beat that.
bro, we had it lined. Like I could show you the questions I have lined up for him.
Yes.
We were ready, and then it just
still
didn't. It's still happening, but next time he's in town, which is November.
Okay.
But he was here end of June, and we had it lined up, but it just didn't work out.
Sorry, guys.
So,
he had to bleep that out. But
yeah,
I see it though. Oh my god.
When I showed him the questions at the party. He's like, "Bro, I wanted to do it. I wanted to do the podcast, but it just didn't work out." But that was gonna be posted right after Caravana.
Okay.
When he didn't work out of all the podcasts I would have had at the time in the bank, you were who I was gonna post after Caravana.
Okay.
You were the one I was like most excited to post.
Right.
But then, as I showed you, this past Monday I get a text. I'm like,
well, since it's up now, because I can say it now. How did that start? Like, how did the Iowa podcast even like come about?
You have to watch the Iwer podcast in totality.
Yeah, definitely watch
that will blow your mind.
Yeah.
I will tell you this. I'll tell you the story after the cameras turn off.
Right.
But everybody else go watch the Iwer podcast.
It's up now.
So for me and him to even be sitting down in a space like that and having this kind of conversation.
You sent me that screenshot. I was like, oh yeah, definitely post that one first. Don't worry about me. Post that one first. Guarantee. It's going to do good. It's going to do good.
I said, yo, it's crazy that we're even sitting here right now. But think about that. The Water Lord and the Tsunami Boss.
Because you booked him for Tsunami before. What, 2022? So that's just like.
And then he'll be back Sunday.
Oh, he'll be back Sunday? Okay, so
this is about to be crazy.
That's crazy.
So after we rip up the place with that performance, we're dropping a podcast 2 days later after the carnival's done.
Yeah, it's definitely only up from here.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I said I'll post Iwer first and then Blackie after that.
That's fine. Trust me, I understand. I plan on working on the podcast. I would do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Exact same thing.
I hear that. Trust me, man. Now, about halfway through the podcast, just to let the people know and remind you guys, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share. Get this podcast out there. Blackie the Soca Influencer.
Appreciate it,
An amazing story so far, and I love, the mind you have to this. It's not something you're taking lightly.
No.
Like it's something you're taking seriously, and you're understanding you have a responsibility
I'm trying to make this full time. Like, I still live with my parents, so like that really makes things so much easier to make content because they allow me to travel and stuff like that. So it doesn't really like affect, like I don't have to worry about having to pay rent and stuff like that. I live with my parents, so that really just like makes my life easier. I still work on the side, stuff to like have money in, but like the goal is to make this like full time. Like I'm doing videos obviously on TikTok, Instagram. I'm trying. I'm trying. I will start migrating towards YouTube because YouTube, there's a whole market there. Obviously as well too, where like there isn't that much. There's Caribbean content, but it's more like talking about carnivals. And I feel like I can start making videos, longer form videos on YouTube, talking about the soca and this culture as a whole.
I mean, for you, if you're willing to put in the work, I would say vlogs. Like when you see like the Casey Neistat and those type of I know that era is like having a bit of a dip.
Yeah.
But I still think you would thrive in that space, especially as somebody who is the only one doing it.
Yeah.
And if you could leverage your Instagram and what that generates, and now you're touring, leverage what that makes and maybe pay somebody to edit that content.
Yeah, I need
for vlogs. I get it. Editing's hard.
Listen, it's not even just editing, just for recording videos too. Like it's not hard to record videos, but like there's certain moments I just don't have the camera in my hand.
Yeah, exactly.
I want someone to record me. I do have moments like that where I'm like, yo, I want someone to record me here and there, but I'm working on getting a cameraman.
Good.
That I'm working on for sure.
Good. Now, one thing I find very interesting, again, we've booked Blackie here in Toronto for DJ Busby Inc.'s 2024 Carnival events in Toronto. That's Tsunami, the big one.
Big one.
Soca Sleepover.
Excited for that.
About 1,000 people every single year.
Dang, that's crazy.
So that's about to be a packed house because we're sold out tonight, guaranteed. And that's, that event is tomorrow. And then now the new addition to the weekend, Soca has Juve on the Monday.
I think that's a sleeper. That one looks
that will. Somebody typed, it was out of time. You know him.
yeah, big
He typed,
big
Buzz just made like F around and make this the best event of the carnival weekend.
Yeah, I think so too.
I am telling you, Blackie, just mark my words again. When you see what like my mind of how that Juve experience,
I remember you sent me
the voice though,
yeah.
When you see that in real life, you're gonna be like, okay, I see what he was talking about.
Yeah, I believe you. Because I've seen a lot of Juves that's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But like, just seeing how your mind works with Tsunami and how his attention to detail, is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like the way you like it's certain things you have in place. I won't spoil it for Tsunami, but if he was at Tsunami already, you would know. But his attention to detail is just like wow. Like that's something even like I don't see in New York where like there's very few promoters where like they have certain sections set up for certain parts of the party. Your attention to detail is phenomenal. It really is.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. So now you mentioned you've been traveling and you had some places that you've gone and you've posted and been very vocal about wanting to start to travel because you're tired of the hookah culture in New York.
I've talked about this, so it is not. I can say this, yo.